My idea is to take on an allotment and run it based on the information distributed throughout the UK during the Dig for Victory campaign, which was launched in October 1939. It's not going to be easy, and it's not going to be quick. All this land has to be put back into commission, the weeds taken out and the soil turned over. I'll be recording my progress in these video diaries. The first task is to remove the rubbish from around the shed. Items which cannot be recycled will be burnt on the bonfire, and the wood ash can be used later in the season. Back in the greenhouse, the first seeds are being sown. The two broad beans I'll be sowing is this one called Crimson Flowered, which is a red scarlet broad bean, and this other one which is Mr. Bunyard's Exhibition, which was the grandfather, if you like, of the Bunyard's Exhibition that we can still grow today. Now, the exact date of this is a bit unclear, but we do know from research that it has been around since at least 1771. I'm going to sow these beans in exactly the same way as we would do them in the modern age. Just get a pot, get some good compost in, and then one seed in one corner and another seed in another corner, and then when we come to plant them out, you can either keep them where they are or split them. But if you put them in each corner, then it's a lot easier to divide them later. Follow my journey by subscribing to my YouTube channel. Until next time, TTFN.
Well, here it is. This is the allotment. Mine is all the way down to the little black shed down on the left hand side there. It's all the way down to the central path. So I'll give you a tour, but there won't be much to see because it's just weeds. So let's just have a walk down. So a bit of plastic there, I have to get rid of that. And bits of wood. But it seems all over the place. There doesn't seem to be any structure to it at the moment. There's this thing for raspberries or something that's been there. Compost bin up on the right there. But yes, it all needs to be trimmed down to the ground. This bit could be worked. It's just a few weeds. Get them trimmed down. A bit of rain to make the job a bit easier. Again, bits of wood all over the place here. And this section looks fairly easy to turn over as well. It's just the ground weeds. So they could be trimmed and, well, not trimmed, pulled out, I mean. They could be pulled out. This section's a bit heaps all over the place. Heaps and hills. And then we come up then to the shed section. So I'm thinking about starting the plot from here. So all on the left of this twig will be for seating and relaxation. And then you can sit by the shed and look out on your plot when it's done. By the side of the shed, we've got this rose. So I think I might leave it there for the time being and see what it turns into. And then we've got the other path behind the shed then that leads to the other plots. It's a big job. It's not going to get done quickly, but do a bit and do it often, that's the key, and we'll get there in the end. So if you look at the weeds here, we haven't had any rain for about 6 weeks, so fairly easy to pull out. The only problem I've got is these seed heads are bound to be flying all over the place. But that's something I'll just have to put up with. So I'll get the fork in here, turn it over and do a little bit at a time. And like I said, do it often. And who knows, might get it done, or at least a section done, in time to put some seeds in this year. Looks decent soil though, look at that. One of the other tasks I've got to do is to clean out the shed and try and get rid of all this stuff. Set up the kettle so we can have a cup of tea. Not sure how I'm going to get rid of that bottle there in the corner though. Nice little mirror there so you can check your face before you go and do a bit of filming. I do like it, it's a bit short for me. It's a bit, short. I'm a bit too tall for it and I'm hitting my head, so I'll keep it for the time being, but who knows, I might get rid of it in time. So, just to let you know, I'm going to keep two channels. The first channel, which is the main channel, I'll put on there the review videos where I'll look over what I've done on this plot over the past month and I'll put videos on there. But if you want to see more sort of like daily progress videos of every time I visit, then this is the channel to be on. Now, I haven't got any tools, so the first thing to do is to bring my tools down here and start. I'm hoping for some rain to come and loosen the soil a bit, but it doesn't look as if we're going to get anytime soon. So there's not a lot for me to do today, and I knew that. It was just to come down and have a quick look at the lay of the land, as it were. So, there's no tea facilities here. I'm going to have to head home and have a cup of tea. So from me, until next time, bye for now.
I went to the allotment today with a view of starting the weeding. Just listen to these birds. It's a beautiful sight. So what I've done so far today is just skim the top of this bit, take some of the weeds out, put them onto the wheelbarrow there, and just take them down to the bottom and start making a compost pile. But the ground is very, very dry at the moment and it's making it difficult to get a fork in. So I don't know how much I'm going to do today. It's a bit all over the place, the levels. As you can see there, it dips down in the middle. So there'll be a bit of work to level it all out. But the trick is just do a little bit and do it often. So I'm not going to do too much now today. In the shed I've got my potatoes and they're chitting away. Some nice good chits. So once the land is ready, these can go in. And this variety is called Home Guard. So end of the first full day. And I've pulled up a few bits of plastic that were there, but I found a lot of frogs and they've gone and jumped into this area here, so I don't want to touch this part yet, especially if there's frogs in there. That's my pile of weeds that I picked up.
Did a bit of strimming, but that strimmer only goes for about 30 minutes before it stops, so couldn't really do much. But I've trimmed all the weeds down anyway. This is the section that I tried to do today. I was hoping to get some potatoes in, but the ground is really, really tough. We need 2 or 3 days of rain to soften it all up. And this section here, I don't know what this is. It's just like a mound of earth and grass. So I'm assuming, again, there'll be a lot of wildlife in there because the pond is just beyond my shed. But it's looking good for the inspection tomorrow. So I've cut the grass and everything, and that's all now. Time to pack everything away, lock up, and then head home. So that's it for day one. It's been a beautiful day down here. The first full day that I've spent on the plot since taking it on. But hopefully the weather will be kind to me, and rain. I don't know, I'm wishing for rain. So I'm going to head home, have a cup of tea, and I'll catch up with you next time. So from me, until next time, TTFN. Hello, is anybody in? Is anybody in the house? Anybody in? Well, I'm down on the second plot and I've been doing a bit of cleaning. I just thought I'd quickly show you. So this is the second allotment if you saw the last video, and what I've been doing this evening, because I've only had an hour to play down here, what I've been doing is I've been cleaning this area up here. It was all full of old pallets and things, so I've been cleaning that up, and I've stopped now because it's getting a bit dark. And I was going to move the shed a bit. That was the plan, but this section here seems to be full of wildlife. There's lots of frogs in there, little tiny frogs and newts. So I'm probably for this year going to leave the shed exactly where it is, and might keep that as a little wildlife area. I don't know yet. We'll see what happens as time goes by. But I thought I could give you a quick tour of the plot. I haven't got a lot of battery left, so this is the view from the top. In fact, let me just show you over here. There's a pond here, and there's some ducks there. You might be able to see them. Look at them, they just flew in. So, this is the top of the plot. And this plot is about 5-minute walk away from my current plot. And I've been joined all evening by a little robin. See if you can see him there. There you go. That's the robin. So on the Dig for Victory plans, it says put your compost bin at the top, along with your shed and your seed bed. Now this is the first problem that I've encountered. If I follow the plan exactly, that means my seed bed is going to be over here, which will be in the shade, because I think the south is in that direction there, so it makes more sense to put my seed bed on the other side of the shed. And there you are, the robin is still there. And I'm going to have to do something with the shed anyway, because it's far too short. I'm banging my head every time I go in, so I'm thinking about possibly... Oh, the robin's going in the shed now. Yeah, the robin's just gone inside the shed. So while the robin's gone in the shed, hopefully he'll do a bit of cleaning. Just give you a quick walk through the plot. Now, in real life it doesn't look as bad as it does on the screen. These are just surface weeds here, and a good afternoon with a hoe will soon reveal the soil. As you can see, they had sweet corn last year, so this section here could be put into cultivation rather quickly. And in here, I think on the plan, this is where no, potatoes are a bit further down, but as you can see, it just needs a bit of levelling off, so it's not that bad. But at the moment I've only got 3/4 of the plot, so I've only got down to here. This is my junk pile that I've been making this afternoon. All this was by the side of the shed. So if I stop by this green thing here, this is where my plot is. So it's all this section there. But later in the month, I'm acquiring, and I've already paid for, this section here. So this goes all the way down then to the main path. I measured it yesterday. It's 122 feet by 19 feet, and the Dig for Victory plan called for a 90-foot plot by, I think it was 30 foot. So even though it's not exactly to what the plan is, I do think it's all going to fit in if I am clever with space. So here is some of these potatoes. So whoever's got this plot now is just keeping this until they can harvest them up, I think. I think that's what the plan was. So at the moment, for the next few weeks, I've only got down to this this fence here. So the path needs to be straightened. It's starting to go dark now. If I just turn up, look at that sunset, live from London. Beautiful. And I'm surprised how quiet it is down here. So here it is. This is the new plot. I'm not planning to kill myself and get it all done quickly. Even if it takes a year, we'll just do a little bit and we'll do it often. Somebody's just asked how am I going to manage with 3 plots. Well, I've only got 2. It's this plot and the raised bed plot. So I've only got 2 plots. And like I said in the video before, the raised bed one, I feel as if there's not a lot I can do with that one now, other than just put crops in it. This is the shed. It's going to be too dark, I think. Yeah, far too dark. Right, let me show you the view from the shed. There we are. I'm going to keep the seat. This is quite a nice little old bench. It's been there 15 years apparently. I'm going to keep that. And with this plot, I'm going to try and not spend any money at all. I'm going to try and do it as they did during the war, make, do and mend. Obviously there'll be a few things I'll have to buy if I want some fencing and netting and things like that, but I'm going to try and keep costs down to a minimum. Let me see if I can flip you around, or I think it's going far too dark now. There we are. Somebody's asked, am I planning to write a book about this? Well, I've already started to keep a diary of what I'm doing, but don't expect anything to happen quickly because it's going to take time, especially with just one person. And that's one thing that they don't tell you when you look at all this history about Dig for Victory, that it took time for people to put these plots into production. The Dig for Victory campaign started in October 1939. The war was declared in September 1939, so within a month the Dig for Victory campaign had started. And because it was in the winter, obviously people had time to get everything ready. That's why I'm not trying to kill myself. So a proper 12 month of Dig for Victory may be next year, but I'm definitely planning to put in a lot of plants this year, such as potatoes, broad beans, peas. And it's surprising, today I've been going through the old seed catalogues and picking out which seed varieties I'm going to grow, and it's quite surprising, but a few of them were introduced in the 10 years
before the 1940s, which we still use today, like Bunyard's exhibition. That seed, that broad bean was introduced, I think, in 1930s, in the end of the 1930s. Somebody's just asked me, am I going to use the tools and the farming techniques that we used back then? I hadn't thought about that. For me, it was all about putting the plan into action and putting the varieties. But throughout this mini playlist, because this will go on for quite a while, I might pick up one or two little tools. But for the start of the project, it's going to be mainly about the plan and the varieties. So I think I'm going to head off soon, so if anybody's got any questions. Am I going to preserve my produce? Yes, and that's another bit of the series that I'm going to be filming. I'm also going to be filming things in the kitchen as well, of like doing Lord Wootton pie, which is just a vegetable pie. So I'll be doing some home front cooking in the kitchen as well, a bit like what Ruth Mott did. But that'll be later on in the season. First of all, we've got to try and grow it on this ground. And obviously, because I don't know this plot, I don't know what the soil is like. But the site is quite a good site down here. And they have a delivery of manure. And I'll be getting some of that if I can get that part of the plot done pretty quickly. I'm just reading the comments. Somebody says something about beans. Can you put beans straight into the ground? Depends where you're. Depends where you are. So my last frost date is mid-May, so I will put my beans into pots in about a week or two's time. And if you want to put them outside, straight into the ground, then you can do that, but obviously wait for your final frost to go. So that's the first thing. Always find out when your final frost is due. Look at this view here. I'm just going to be quiet for a second so you can just appreciate the sounds of nature down here. One thing I will have to get sorted out is a stove and a kettle. So I'll do that in there. And in fact, I've got some dishes coming that you would have seen back in the 1940s, and they're being delivered to me later this week. So trying to keep things authentic. What I'm going to do is, because there's no point me showing you videos of what's going on every week, which will basically be lifting grass. So what I'm going to do for this particular playlist is, until the plot is up and running, I'm just going to make short videos, and I'll put them up on the channel as well. So it'll be more of a look at what I've been doing in March and April. So you may only get one video, but it'll be like a good half an hour video of what's going on down here. Because at the end of the day, getting an allotment started is quite boring. There's not a lot other than just turning the soil over and getting the grass out. It's beautiful down here, I must say. Somebody's just asked, June has just asked, how have I got the time to do all this? Well, like I said in my video, looking after raised beds doesn't take that much time. I went down to the allotment with the raised beds on the weekend, and literally within an hour all my tasks were done, and there was not a lot more to do. Now, as I've said before, the comments are on the left, so it's quite difficult because they go quite quickly. But somebody's just said, be careful of my back, because as you know, I had a few back issues And this weekend has been the first weekend that I've really pushed myself, and it seems to be okay, but I'm not taking that for granted. This is why I'm not putting any deadline on when this project is going to really kick in. I'm just taking it slowly, without any pressure of making videos. I don't know if you can see me now, it's because it's getting quite dark. I think it must be about 6:30 here in the UK. So I think I'm going to end this now, but I'll walk down to the bottom of the plot and I'll just show you the sunset. Hold up. Yeah, it's certainly getting dark now. So I'm going to have to finish this soon, otherwise I won't be able to see my way out. Just have a look at this now when I turn around. Look at that. No better way to end the day than with the sunset and an aeroplane flying over. So I will leave you with that sight, and I'll catch up with you next time I see you. So from me and the Wartime Garden, TTFN.